Welcome to your next step up the self-publishing mountain.
I'm Matilda Swift, author of quintessentially British cozy mysteries.
And I'm Samantha Cummings, author of young adult books about magic, myths and monsters.
I've written the books,
Changed their covers,
tweaked their blurbs,
tried tools from a dozen ads courses.
and I'm still not seeing success.
Now, we're working together to plot and plan our way from barely making ends meet to pulling in a living wage.
Join us on our journey where we'll be mastering the pen to snag that paycheck. Hello and welcome to Pen to Paycheck Authors Podcast. I'm Matilda Swift, here with my co-host Samantha Cummings, and we're here to write our way to financial success. We're two indie authors with over a dozen books between us and still a long way to go towards the quit the day job dream. If that sounds familiar, listen along for our Mastery Through Missteps journey. Each week we cover a topic to help along the way, and this week it's Challenge Week. Before we get into that, what are your wins and whinges of the week?
I'm so glad you asked. I will start with my wins because they are less than my whinges. So my win is that this week I decided to order a book cover for my September publication. So I'm currently using a temporary cover. Mm-hmm. I do have a book cover being designed by my book cover person, but I also wanted to do a bit of a fun testing thing where I test different covers in ads, just to see like what cover is the most like exciting and fun one that gets the most clicks, and then it also kind of gives me an opportunity to maybe do different paperback covers or like a hardback cover and Kindle cover and stuff. But I just wanted to open up some doors and see what happens. So I've ordered that, and I need to kind of send them a bit more information, but that's quite exciting because I felt kind of very proactive. And that was mostly driven by the fact that we went to an indie writing event at the weekend, stealing that one as my win. Because this weekend,
I've got so many wins.
This weekend we went to Chester to an indie writing discussion talk thing. And it was really good. It was just kind of about like being an indie author, what goes into it and the whole business stuff. And it kind of inspired me. There was a lot of stuff that I already knew, but also, when you just hear things that you already know, but you needed to hear them again, it was that sort of thing. So I am feeling very inspired by that. My whinge is that my day job is so hectic at the moment that my dream day job is being affected by it. Can you even imagine? So during the week, usually I'm doing like writing stuff at my desk. So Instagram, TikTok, just doing like my little admin-y stuff on the side. But I haven't been able to do that for the past like week or two because we're doing like a big rebrand and we're relaunching like 4 or 5 websites, and it's like crazy. And I'm a project manager, so I have to make sure everything is getting done, and it's just eating into my author time. And I'm super annoyed. I'm so annoyed about it. And I'm like sat at my desk like, I just want to go and like post my TikToks today, and I haven't been able to because I've got to do actual work. Boo, boo, boo. Hate it. That's my whinge. How about you?
I'm just full of wins this week. I am in that very like smug superior phase where you think you've sorted your life out and it's never going to go wrong again. So I'm just going to bask in that for a little bit. And I'm also really going to evangelize about the things that I've done as though I have solved world peace, and like whatever I do is like what everyone should do because I'm a model person. That's how I feel, right? And it will slowly fade away. But I'm basking it right now. So I'll talk about some of the more detailed things in like, because it's all challenge week stuff. But I've just felt so organized this week, and that has been a delight, and has also been such a good insight into the fact that like how much feelings are changeable. Just like the week before, I felt really stuck and despondent and like I don't trust myself, I can't quit my job because I wouldn't be a good enough employee. And then taking a week off and just like working on some processes, I'm now like, I am the best human who has ever existed. No one could hope to be as good as me.
Which is what I always think about you anyway. Like, you are the best person.
I think I look that way from the outside, but I often don't feel it on the inside. And this week I feel it from the inside.
Yeah.
So good. It's just really good. And it's just such a good reminder of just like what I need is, what I need is like a reset. So one thing I have as an issue is like, I can get really good habits and then I sabotage and fall out of them. But actually just taking a few days off and resetting them all, I wiped all my like timetables off. I reset all my schedules. I changed all those things, and just having that fresh start is fantastic. And in fact, when I used to live in Hong Kong, I used to move house every single year, and I loved it because for me, moving
Mm,
house is a complete reset. Like you don't have any of your routines. You don't have like the little shop that you get a chocolate bar on the way home, which starts as like a once in a week thing and then becomes an everyday thing. And then, then you're just standing in there scrolling your phone or whatever it is. But like
mhm.
you get a chance to like have a complete reset. And I think I need to I want to move this house because I hate moving house now and I can't bothered. Um, and so I need to find other ways to reset my routine. And it was just so lovely to see that for this week, that a hard reset, it just made me have a complete 180 on my attitude to everything.
Yeah.
And not just like it was much more, it was every aspect of my life now feels better. Like at the weekend, I felt so much better that I did more, and also I enjoyed myself more. And I like on Saturday, we went to that great event in Chester. We did so much, and I just came back still feeling really energized. And then on Sunday, I went for a walk. I'd already been for a walk and the dentist on Friday. But like on Sunday, I woke up, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go for a walk. And like I live conveniently near a very beautiful little like National Trust woods that has a cafe in the middle of it, and it's like a fairyland. And it's 2 miles from my house. So I like, why do I go there all the time? Because I'm lazy and I self-sabotage. And yesterday I was just like, I am full of the joys of spring in June, but conceptually, and
Hmm.
walked through there thinking of a new like great writing idea. Just like tripped through the woods, felt fantastic, had nice little ice cream, came back home again, did my like planning for preparation because I had a financial organization chat with Helen yesterday, and just
Hmm.
like got everything done, wasn't stressed about it, enjoyed every aspect of it. I was like, I lived my best weekend, and all I had done was like take a few days off and reset my habits. That's it. It's
Yeah.
like I need to do this. So I'm gonna plan to look at my habits every week, have a real like change any that aren't working every month, and have a complete reset of every single one every quarter. It's like I'm just gonna do that because I know what works. And
Hmm.
I sort of get wedded to that, and they think I have to stay with that even if I stop doing it. It's like you don't. What actually works is changing,
Yeah.
and just having a refresh. So
Hmm.
all wins, but all my other wins are to do with what we're going to talk about in our next section.
Okay, I want to
Um,
just throw in another win before we go, because I know I feel like I did a big whinge that I have been off my phone every evening after 6 p.m. and I've read
mm,
so much. I've been
yeah,
reading so much, and I'm like, oh, right, so I can actually fit reading books into my schedule
yeah.
again. This is how
Whenever
I
I left the
used to
work
do
today
it.
between like work and doing this, I was like, yeah, I just didn't look at my phone. And I haven't put
Hmm.
my phone away. It's just part of feeling better. And it does make such a difference, just like
Yeah.
reading.
Yeah,
My
just
favorite
like put the
hobby.
phone away. Yeah, I
Spoon.
absolutely love it. And I've not read properly. Like I always feel like I was like just trying to catch up with books, and now I'm like, just give me all the books, and I can read
Yeah.
them. Like here we go.
It's good that we're
Okay.
both superior human beings right
Yes, we're
now.
both like we're
Otherwise,
both superior in different ways.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm not superior in any other way, but the reading thing, they're putting my phone away at 6 o'clock. I'm very good at.
that is a good one.
Oh, feeling great. Okay, so our topic of the week, like you said, is Challenge Week. Let me start by asking you what you aim to do.
That is a very good question that I wrote myself. And I wrote it because the answer is, in fact, I don't really remember what I set myself a challenge to do. And then I went to listen to the podcast to be like, what did I say I would do? And I was very unclear, if I'm honest. So interesting. I think I sort of got two things conflated together because I think I'd already got an idea of what I wanted to do, and part of it was like I was going to have an admin week and I was going to get all my admin cleared out of the way. And then during our discussion last week about the kind of money mindset thing, I really drilled down into like not trusting myself and not like seeing myself as a good enough employee to be able to quit my job and work for myself. And so I kind of steered that like to one aspect of admin, which was like really get my habits in order, my routines in order, and also get more organized about the idea of like my money and leaving my job. So kind of I end up like sort of blending a lot of things together, and that did mean that this week I had to have like a real sit down and think, what am I actually going to get done? I'm really not going to get admin done this week because while I'm kind of having a whole week away from writing, that isn't the time I want to spend, sorting out my front and back matter. That's a thing to do that's like in an evening when you're tired in front of the TV. So what I did was I made so many lists and like really, really good lists, like a list of all my admin. Because again, I had gone into this like idea of challenge week and sort my admin out without any idea of what I need to do, and that felt really overwhelming. And one of the things I said last week was like I just felt really overwhelmed by loads of things. Like my house was a real mess, and so I'd made a list of. I think at that point I got like 40 things to like clean and tidy and reorganize, and I think now the list is like up to 65. But I have done more than half of those things. So I had set myself like just a get your life in order challenge week, which was a
Yeah.
bit vague but actually really suited me. And it did have both like minute practical aspects to it is what I worked on, but also kind of a lots of thinking and processing about like the business and what I need and next steps and like what I need. And I did not solve it all in 1 week, but I really have a much clearer idea. So that is what I set myself to do, and I can talk about the kind of the details of that in a minute. But how about you? What did you set yourself to do?
I set myself the challenge to. I kind of set myself two challenges, but the big challenge, like the overall theme, was to be more of an outside author, which I always talk about this. I'm such a good inside author. I'm great at just like sitting on my computer and doing this stuff, but I do want to get more into the community aspect. And kind of like, I think what I've kind of come to figure out is that I clearly want to be some sort of community leader, which I think has made me, which is why I don't think I did much this week. So I've made a list of things to do, like people to contact, and I want to set up like a local writers group, and I want to build my young adult fantasy Discord. But I haven't done that this week. I've made a list of like people to contact, but I've not done it. And I think it's because when I realized that what I was doing was effectively putting myself at the top of a hierarchy, I think I kind of felt a bit like, am I, because I always talk about how flaky I am I actually able to do that because I'm such a flake? But I'm going to do it. Like, I'm not going to do it. But I think I had a bit of hesitancy. Like, I didn't immediately reach out to people. I'd made a list and felt like that was a good enough start. And then today I was like, oh, also I've just had like a really busy week last week at work. So it's kind of just had a knock-on effect where I was a bit too tired to do too much after work. I think that I had the good intentions, and I made the lists of people that I want to talk to, and then I did my usual thing of then just like closing the curtains.
Yeah, like having the intention of plan sometimes can feel like I've done it. That's it. I've done it now. I've thought of all the parts to it, so it's done.
Yeah. But
I
I'm
think
kind
it's
of
interesting you saying
okay.
like
Go on.
it's interesting you saying like it feels like it's a hierarchy thing because like in both the discords that you've set up, so the pen to paycheck one and your way of fantasy one, you set them up and you invited people in, but it doesn't feel like in either of them there's a hierarchy. In both
No.
of them, it's like a
Yeah.
real like here's just a forum I've set up for us all to chat in it. So why does this other thing feel like a hierarchy thing?
It's probably less like, the word isn't hierarchy, it's more
Like responsibility?
authority. Yeah, responsibility. Because I'm not
Yeah.
the older sister. I am the middle child, and I get looked after by everyone else. And I don't like make the plans. I don't book the tickets for things. I don't do that sort of
Don't
thing in
order
my
the
life.
t-shirts.
I mean, yeah, I don't order the t-shirts. And like, we always used to like have a laugh, me and one of my friends, because we go on holiday every year, and basically I would just show up at the airport. That's my involvement. Show up at the airport when she tells me.
Are you Darshan?
I am just the biggest like baby.
Yeah. This is like I'm obsessed at the moment on social media about like Darshan and Samuel. And I was like, I want to be a Darshan, but I'm a Samuel. Like I am the one organizing all the things.
I just show up to the things. So that's like a very big part of my personality, which I have been working on a lot. Like over the last few years, I'm very slow to change my personality, as most people are.
That's all human beings are, yeah.
Yeah. But I know I'm very aware. I'm like very self-aware. So that makes the process feel even slower, because I know what I'm trying to do and I know how long it's taking me to do it. So I think it's more of the fact that I feel like the responsibility is quite big to be the person that's gathering people into one place.
Why does it not feel like that in the YA fantasy Discord that you have? Because that is exactly what you
No,
get there.
it does. Yeah, no, it does. But that was this is a thing that I can do. I trick myself into stuff. So I have, and that's why I'm not too bothered about the fact that I've not contacted people yet, because my way of processing life is to have an idea or know that I need to do something, and I'll write it on a list, and then I don't look at it for a while, And then
Mm-hmm.
I'll look at it and I'll trick myself into doing it immediately. I'm like, oh, quick, do it now. And I used to, in my old job, when I used to work in like pensions and administration and stuff, I used to have to be on the phone a lot. And I hate phones. I hate making phone
Mm-hmm.
calls. I hate it. I don't mind answering the phone, but I hate dialing out to other people. And I used to have to dial out and call people all the time. That was part of my job. It's like I had a list of people to call. But the anxiety of doing it would be like, oh, I couldn't possibly do that right now. So I'd write down who I needed to call. And
Mm-hmm.
then I would like just do other stuff. And then as soon as I looked at it, I'd think, do it now. And I'd like, before I could even second guess myself, like, oh, I'm already doing it. And I'd be calling. So I think that's probably what stage I'm at the moment. It's like, I've made the
Okay.
list, I've got the names, and I'm just waiting to kind of like pull the rug out from underneath myself where I'm like, haha,
Mm-hmm.
too late. You've already done it. And that's how psychotic I am.
Mm-hmm. Like,
So
what would happen if you just put it in your planner for a certain day like
it
this
is,
week, and
it
you like
is,
couldn't
it is,
avoid it?
it's in
Would
my
it get
plan
done, or
for
would you just leave it?
no, it's in my plan for tomorrow, which means
Mm-hmm.
that tomorrow when I look at it, I'll do it as soon as I look at it. I'm like, oh, quick, before you
Okay.
can second guess yourself. So
Yeah.
that's where I'm at. But I'm
Okay.
looking
That's an
forward to it
interesting
because
process.
it's a very interesting process. I know myself very well. I know that that's how
Mm-hmm.
I'll get the job done. So when I
Mm-hmm.
made the plan to do it last week, and I thought, oh, I'll just message people as and when I see them on Instagram and stuff. That's
Yeah.
not how I work. Who was
Yeah.
I kidding? I was like, yeah, like no problem. I won't feel anxiety about that at all. Yeah, no,
Mm-hmm.
I did. I was like instantly like, oh, well, I'm just not going to spend any time on Instagram this weekend then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is useful to be like self-aware of how you do things. Like, I think everyone has
Mm-hmm.
their own like flaws in that area. So I had to send an email, which I mentioned before. I had to send an email to someone that I was just scared to send because I thought they would probably say no, and they
Mm-hmm.
might say no in a way that made me feel small. And like I'd been an idiot to even ask. So I didn't, and the email is one of those emails that you put off, like maybe I think I'd planned to send it like 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd done all the prep for it. And then it was like a 2 minute job to like write it and send it, maybe 10 minutes, but like to write it and send it. And then within like 24 hours, I got like a very positive and enthusiastic yes. And I was like, oh, why did I write this off? But for me, I have
Yeah.
to like, it has to be the deadline. If it's a thing I don't want to do, I find it really hard to make myself do it sooner.
Mm-hmm. Oh
So
yeah,
I
I
have to
love a
like,
deadline. Yeah.
yeah,
It does make
should
everything
not be
much more
productive. Yeah.
exciting. It's not,
Yeah.
but if you know that's how you work, like I feel like that's how I work. I'm so
Mm,
good with a deadline because I love the fear of missing it.
yeah.
I like that. I'm like, oh god, this is super important now. We really got to knuckle down. I like doing that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think I need to figure out a way to get things done without a harsh deadline. Because
Oh
one,
yeah.
one thing that I have like made work for me this year is having very tight deadlines. So I've put lots of books in, so I've got tight deadlines so that
Hmm.
I will get things done. So I'm not wasting lots of time, because if I give myself 3 months over something, I would still wait until the last minute.
Yeah.
So and then I would have dead time where I just did nothing. So this year I've really scheduled myself to be like as full as possible. I have put in break weeks, and I have in fact a couple of times like had slightly too long on the schedule and then just dawdled them and felt annoyed. So then I was thinking like, sure, should I make myself even a tighter schedule? It's like no, because then you get burned out. So I do need to still work on like getting things done without it being the last possible human minute.
Yeah.
Though now I am superior and good at schedules, I will
Yes,
be able to do that. That's
you'll be
fine.
fine. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. Like just because I'm aware of how my brain works and how I have to trick myself, it doesn't mean that I
Mm.
want to be like that. Like I don't want to be like that. My ultimate goal in life is to be somebody who doesn't feel like they have to put things off out of whatever anxiety or fear they're feeling. Like I
Yeah.
don't want to be that person who, because I'm like such a
Imagine
procrastinator
that
like
though.
you are.
Imagine you just like sit down and you just do the
Some
work.
people do. Like
Yeah.
some people do. Some people are just like, oh, I have to call that person or I have to email that person, and they just do it there and then.
Yeah, keep doing it. I
My
used to
older
work in
sister is
a
that person, and I
yeah,
don't get it.
no,
She just calls
that's crazy.
people. Freaks me out.
Yeah.
But that's why we
I
always
used to
get
work in an
tickets to
office
gigs
and
and stuff because she does.
yeah,
She just
yeah.
like books stuff.
Yeah,
So,
not like that. No, I'll wait last minute and then nothing left. Yeah. But I used to work with someone who she it was an office where everyone had too much work to do, like really too much. And it was that job that I said like I quit because I really just got sick of the place. And we were like a little row of people who were like hired as assistants and effectively just secretaries with too much work to do, and it felt very unpleasant. And we all just like grumbled to each other, spent nights like drinking and eating junk food together, and um, just were mean about our bosses behind their backs. And she was just like the youngest person. She joined after the rest of us, and she would just tell her boss like, "No, that's not going to fit in my schedule. I don't have time to do that." And she just left every day at 5, and we were all there like, "What's wrong with you? Like, who are you, you evil person, leaving at 5 while the rest of us are here just toiling away?" And she was right. Like, she was absolutely the right person in that situation. But like the rest of us just didn't have the almost like the belief in ourselves that we could say that's too much work, because we were like, well, I must be being lazy. And it was, I would like to be more like her. And even now, that must be like coming on 20 years later, that I used to work with a long ago, and I still feel like I'm not like that.
Oh, I'm very much like that. That's also a problem. It's like if I give myself a time where I'm like quitting time, then quitting time it is. And I feel like that is probably like at the moment I'm feeling like I'm a bit slow on my editing, because I say to myself, well, I'll edit for an hour after work. But I could edit for longer, but because I've told myself I'm going to do an hour, I'm like quit after an hour, which is a bit of an annoying
Yeah.
thing. I need to work on that as well. Why is it always like, I just feel like it's
There's
always
stuff to
therapy
work
time.
on.
Always stuff to
Yeah.
work on, always therapy time.
I have
But
really been thinking that recently, is like how much like my mindset has changed in the last year. And really I haven't changed that much about what I understand about the business or what I'm writing or anything like that. It's just about how I'm approaching it. And there's still so much to kind of keep getting in order. And I was thinking like if I had to, because we went to this talk at the weekend that was very much like beginner people, and was about like how to get into indie author world. And we just went because we wanted to do something authory and to kind of chat to the other writers that we know there. Um, and it was interesting to think about like if I had to like talk to one of those people and tell them like, oh, how do you get from where you are to where I am now? It's like there's no quick journey. There's just like you have to go through every step that I went through. There's just like I could give some shortcuts, but like a lot of it is just doing the thing, learning from the thing, figuring out your own mindset issues, and like figuring out how to work with your own particular set of quirks.
yeah.
And like figuring out how not to sabotage yourself.
Yeah. It's the biggest problem is definitely sabotaging yourself. But then you have to do that because you have to figure out what you do and then figure out the route around it. And that really is like, that is the process. Like you say, you can give people helpful hints and tips, but you're always going to come across something that you are just incapable of doing without working on it, without like figuring out.
Yeah. And there are so many things with this last week. Like there's so many things where it's like the people who talk the loudest are often like the people who've got like the one great hack to doing this. It's like that's just the one great hack that works for you. It works really well for you, and it wouldn't work at all for me. So there's no point me really listening. And I do wish there was much more about like figuring out your strengths and how to work with them, rather than being like, this is how you do Facebook ads. You must do it this way, and it 100% works every time this way. It's like it won't work for me because I don't work that way. So
Yeah.
I could follow your process up to a point, and then I'd either stop focusing on it, or I wouldn't follow the exact specifications, or like I do something that's different to you because I'm not the same as you.
Yeah, I find that actually,
Yeah.
this is like off on a tangent, but I do find that's like the hardest part of listening to other people's advice, because
Yeah.
in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking like, but that's, but you're coming at it from a completely different like point of view, or like you've just had a completely different experience that I am never going to experience. Like you've written a book that I was never going to write. That's probably one of the biggest things. It's like, well, you just write the book and then market the book, and then you'll get all these fans and these followers, and then you can like have a street team and people will post about your book online, and that's like doesn't seem like something that I'm yet at the point of being able to do.
But also you might never, right? It's like, some people are like 100%
Yeah.
like, oh, you just have to rapid release, or you have to just like hop on trends, or you have to like really get on socials and like build your fandom. It's like you don't have to do any of those things,
Yeah.
because not one of those things would work for me. And
No.
so it's like how to figure out I wish there were like a giant spreadsheet of strategies that you could like look in all the drawers, look at the tactics, and then be like, no, that one's not for me. Or like a potion that you can mix of like, these things work for me. This is who I am. A giant quiz. That's what I would like. Of just like,
Oh,
these are my strengths. This is what
you
works
would
for me.
love a giant quiz.
would be my ideal. One day I'll make it.
Mm-hmm.
One day I'll make like, okay, if you're like this, even if you like the Clifton Strengths, which I know is on your imminent list of things to do any second
This
now,
this week,
this week.
surely.
But even if you had like that and it, you give it your full list and you're like, okay, what's my strategy? What's going to work for me? I don't know how it would magically do this, but it would magically do it. But also maybe
Yeah.
it's just that the doing the processes and like trying out all the things is the way that you find your own secret sauce,
Yeah, because I
which is
am
annoying.
definitely I'm a person that has to do. I can't be told. I can't be told what to
Hmm.
do. It's legitimately never going to work for me. I will never. I will rebel against it every single time. I was thinking about this today because I've got an allotment, which I'm sure I've mentioned on the podcast before,
Hmm.
and we're definitely like the naughty people on the allotment because, well, we're not retired for a start. So 99% of the people on the allotment are retired people who go and can spend hours there every day, and they grow these massive plants and vegetables and stuff, and it's amazing. And then mine is in the back, and mine's like clearly the allotment of somebody who goes once a week and is
Mm.
just trying to fake it to show that I'm doing stuff, because we've got an inspection coming up next week or the week after, and you've got to have 70% of your allotment in work, like working and producing. And this is our third year at the allotment, and in our first year and even last year, people gave me advice on what to do. You know, put weed membrane down, just like cover the whole thing. Don't worry about like trimming the grass and trying to clear the rocks from the soil. Just like do this, do that. And they gave us like loads of stuff, and I was just like, yeah, great, and then just didn't do it. And now I'm at the point where I'm like, oh, 3 years later, maybe I should have just done what they told me at the start, because now I feel like, and now I'm doing stuff that I got told 2 years ago. I'm like, I just didn't want to listen to them then. I had to learn from experience. And
Yeah.
that is me. I just have to learn from experience. I can't be told how to do something. So I don't know why I looked at other people to tell me, because even if they told me flat out, this is what you need to
Mm.
do, I wouldn't do it. I don't know who
Mm.
I'm kidding. I would never. I'd be like, screw them. What do they know? And then 2 years later, be like, oh, yeah, I wish I'd
Oh,
listened to
that.
that.
Yeah, that's what they know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right. We should probably bring it back around to the topic at hand.
Yeah.
So this week, for sure, I'm going to message people.
Mm.
I really want to grow my YA fantasy Discord, because at the moment there's like a couple of people in there, and we're kind of at the same level. We're publishing, and we are like struggling to gain traction and everything.
Mm.
And then the other people in the group are at a bit of a lower level. Like they're kind of just publishing whenever they want. They don't have a set time scale. They're just like a bit more amateur, like I was like 5 years ago.
Mm.
So I really want to find like people who are doing what I'm doing right now. And I've made a list of people that I
Mm.
interact with already on Instagram and TikTok. And this week, for sure, like 100%,
Mm.
tomorrow, I'm going to send them links to the Discord to try and build it up, because I really want to have a group of people like we have with our Discord for the podcast.
Mm.
It's like, it's not just like a group of writers. I feel like we are like colleagues. We're at that point
Yeah.
where like it's very much
Yeah.
like water cooler activities, where you get to be like, oh, I was at my desk before and this happened, or like I'm trying to
Mm.
work this out, and everyone's got something to share. And that's what I really want, but for my genre of books, because I really just want a group of people to be like, this is like the best place to get like your blurb written, and this is the best place to
Yeah.
like, and you can get that, like I said, you can get that anywhere online, but I don't want to listen to people tell me what to do. I want to
Mm.
listen to a good group of people to tell me what to do.
Mm.
And
But then they're not telling you what to do, right? When it's like your
not
friends,
telling,
they're
yes.
giving you advice. They're saying like, oh, for you specifically, this is what I think you should
Yeah.
have a look at. Whereas,
And it
yes, when
sounds
it's like
very
strangers,
selfish to say
yeah,
that, to
it's
tell
like,
me, but really what I mean is like, and also to share with other people like the ideas that
yeah.
I've had. So I need to not be scared to do that. I need to not
Hmm.
feel like I don't have anything to offer. Maybe that's like what I've said previously. I feel like I don't have anything to offer other people,
When we
but
had
then I
this
do.
talk on Saturday, though, did you feel like you
I was
knew more
like,
than
I
the
knew way
audience?
more. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was sat there thinking, oh wow, like how far I've come. all of this,
Yeah.
I know what all of this means. There was like a glossary, a list of terms, and then the speakers went through what everything meant, and I just thought, like, surely this is normal. Everyone knows this, but
Yeah.
the woman next to me was like writing stuff down, and I knew that I could hear people like talking behind about what certain things meant, and they were like
Mm.
surprised people about like the process of uploading a book to KDP.
Mm.
Yeah, that was like I feel bad for saying it, but it was nice to feel
Yeah.
like I was like, oh,
It's just good to kind of get a sense, because I think because everyone we know now, everyone that we interact with on a regular basis is like
mm-hmm,
very experienced authors, so you can get a sense of like, yeah, everybody knows this. Everyone is, well, like we had a conversation today in the Cozy Clubhouse about the new like A10 algorithm changes, and it's like, oh, surely everyone's up to date on like all the latest algorithm changes from Amazon. Who doesn't know about this? And in another group I'm in, like there's a cozy TikTok group, and we were talking in there about like different video, different video styles, and they had like a meeting I couldn't attend, so I'm watching the video back, and it's like, yeah, like I spend, I don't know, and I'm always listening to podcasts. Like I probably spend about 50% of my waking hours ingesting content in some way related to
mm,
self-publishing, and I was like, maybe not everyone's doing this.
yeah,
Maybe not,
yeah,
because in that room there were a lot of people who were like clearly like retired and were like, now I'm gonna write a book.
mm-hmm,
Um, and they might not even write the book.
yeah,
Uh, it was such a good session to go to, actually, just to have like a good refresher of everything, because I don't
mm-hmm,
often like listen to or think about the processes. And one of my things last week was I was making like a big admin list of things that I needed to do. It was actually very helpful, because I could be like, oh yeah, that I need to go through and like revamp that, or
mm-hmm,
correct that there. So it was very helpful for me, and
yeah,
also just good to get like a good gauge on where you're at now. So yeah, I think not selfish to want to be around other authors, because
yeah,
people who are maybe in year one, like are still writing the book, are in a completely different place, and you do have things
mm-hmm,
to offer that they wouldn't know.
yeah, yeah. I also, my intention is, this is another reason why I put this off. I'm always full of excuses, but I always know like the reasons are legitimate. So one
Hmm.
of the other groups I want to set up is a group for local authors. But the reason I didn't message anybody for this is because I don't have time to meet up with local authors right now. And I was thinking this like, oh, I could just tell people like I'm always at this coffee shop and
Yeah.
I'm always around. But June is just not the month for me to be social. It's
Hmm.
just not.
Hmm.
So that's why I put that off. But I'm still going to message people, but the intention will be July onwards. I
Yeah.
have nothing planned
And
in
people are
July.
really flaky over summer. So like I'm in a
Yeah.
roller skating group, and we had a problem last year, so we have to pay for the hall regardless of how many people come. And over summer, people
Oh,
kept flaking
yeah.
out, and so I don't pay for it. Thankfully, that someone else pays for kind of the overall fees. But I'm good friends with her, so we talk about it often. And yeah, so we were talking about like what are we going to do? How do we get people to join this summer? And realistically, we just can't. They flake, so we're shutting over summer and just taking the summer off. And be like, yeah, we're starting again in September. You'll miss it by then. You'll be excited to come back.
Hmm.
So I think summer is quite a flaky time. So you could just say, let's have like a soft launch in July. See if we can like a few of us meet up to sort of
Hmm.
maybe talk about what we want to do. In August, we'll try and gather a few more, but we're going to like we'll be in it by September. We're prepping for a September launch of whatever this is.
Yeah. Yes, that's true. September is like my favorite time to start things. I
Yeah.
used to really
But
hate
you want to be like,
September.
soft prepping, like chatting to a few people and making sure it's
Yes.
not like it doesn't feel all or nothing. You can chat to them and
Yeah.
be like, if anyone's around over summer, it'd be great to talk about what we want this to be like. And it could be that like
Hmm.
every Saturday morning you will go and you just have a like half-hour chat and then a 2-hour writing or whatever you want it to be.
Hmm.
It can be
Yeah.
anything.
It could be anything, anything we want. It could
Mm,
just be us meeting up for a shot of tequila. No, not really.
yeah.
But it could.
Just a start of a Saturday morning, shot of tequila,
Yeah.
get
Shot
going.
tequila. Yeah, 9 a.m. Let's go. Oh.
I definitely need to make more local writer friends, which sounds weird because like
Mm.
where I live, everybody is some sort of artist. Like there are numerous full-time authors in my vicinity. Um,
Crazy.
yeah, and a lot of them are um I wouldn't even say like literary authors. Like a lot of people are coming from like more the artist side. So they might be like a poet who does mostly like performance, or they're they're writing the sort of things that you wouldn't even publish, right? Like they're very like experimental, interesting, like more like writing and art combined. So it's not like there are other authors here that I know who are even self-publishing at all.
Hmm.
But there is a writing community. There's not a writing community. There is the option of a writing community. There's the tantalizing, yeah, like
Hmm.
sense out there that there could be a writing community.
Hmm.
And when I've spoken to other writers, I don't get the sense that there is a community. Like I think a lot of people are kind of weaving in and out of like different groups, and like have a few different friends, but there's not like some group that I'm not in. And I'm not sure I would want that, but what I really want is like an accountability um system. I said last week, like I really, really need to find that. And I think right now it's not something I need because my schedule's too irregular in terms of like the
Mm-hmm.
weekends. I tried before to find someone for a Saturday because for a Friday, and I just wasn't around enough on every Friday. But I do think that is a priority for when I'm not working. Oh, a very loud motorbike's going past my house. Don't know if you can hear that. I can hear it very loudly here. So yes, so things that I did and didn't do this week.
Mm-hmm.
I really worked on like getting my life in order and just making a lot of lists and making a lot of schedules, and kind of having a reset and like looking through lots of mindset books and kind of ordering some new sets. I designed my own loyalty cards, and had
Yes.
a little stamp made, uh, and like designed a system for that. And that has felt phenomenal of just like the little loyalty to myself cards. So I had them printed and they've got little cats on the back. And I get a stamp if I like complete my morning routine all the way through. I currently get a stamp if I read a like a mindset book, if I read a cozy book, and if I do my like weekly activities every day, I get a stamp for that. And if I do exercise over an hour, it's like things that I want to reward right now that I want to kind of get back into my routine, all things that I enjoy. I just,
Mm-hmm.
assume I'm going to do them later in some magical way.
Yeah.
So that was really good. And it felt really positive. And I had lots of chats this week. And it just felt transformative. Like chats with people who are full-time authors and just like chats as if we are colleagues, like you're saying, like that feels so
Yeah.
useful, that colleague conversation. Um, and one of them, uh, it was almost like this podcast, like the sort of discussion we have here. We were just like able to really talk about kind of personal business, mindset things. Felt really, really good, and just felt like I want to always be having conversations like this. And then one of them was really focused. Like I had a huge long session about like finance, and had a really good um, conversation about quitting my job
Mm-hmm.
and like what what will get me to that point where I can quit my job. Uh, and I think I had a really good suggestion, which was like literally set yourself like a schedule of all the things that you need to do before then, like all the things that are on your list of things like I need to talk to a friend about a process of bringing money back from Hong Kong. I need to
Mm-hmm.
have a talk with a financial advisor about if I want to set up a limited company. I need to like really set a very strict budget and look at that. It's like just set a timeline where you put all those things on a schedule by the date that you want to quit and make sure they're all done by then, and then you can do it. Because like I don't feel like I could do it tomorrow. That would just feel petrifying. I feel like I'm not prepared. But
Yeah.
also that's just a feeling, right? And how do I get past that feeling? Is like write down all the things you need to do that will make you feel
Yeah.
prepared, and then just do them all.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it sounds
Hit
really
your
simple.
hit your milestones. No, I know, but you could like some people would say, "Oh, just quit now." And like that's all very good and well. It's great giving people advice like that, like just quit. And I'd like jokingly have said that to you, like just quit now. Like, but I didn't. But I know that that's not simple. And I wholeheartedly love a checklist to do before you get to something. It's like when
Yeah.
you go on holiday and you make a list of all the things you need to pack. Some people do that. I don't. But I understand the premise of
Mm,
of like working your way towards like the
mm,
thing to make sure that everything is done and dusted. Um, and I think that that will make you feel 10 times better or 100 times
yeah.
better to know like you've done the due diligence, you've done like the good girl stuff, you've made
Yeah.
sure that you've got things in
I
place,
can't get
and
in
it's not
trouble.
just yeah, and you're not just like jumping out of a plane hoping that the
Yeah.
parachute opens. It's like you're packing your parachute and you're packing your spare, and then you can jump.
Mm, yeah. And it just felt at the moment like I realize the feeling is like I'm waiting for permission, but I
Mm-hmm.
need to be able to give myself permission of saying, okay, you've prepared everything that you can possibly
Yeah.
prepare. And oh, I also got a really good suggestion that in fact I will put a link in the show notes. Um, and this was to do a thing called fear setting,
Mm.
which is literally it comes from Tim Ferriss, the 4,000 hours person, who I think is 4,000 weeks, who I think is a dubious person in some ways, but is also has some really good suggestions in other ways. So worth reading this. And it was about a TED talk. So fear setting is where you have a thing that you're really scared to do, and then you literally write a list of all the worst things that could happen. And there's like 10 to 20 things at least of like literally what's the worst thing that could happen. So I think like if I quit my job, there's been a pandemic recently. I've lived through a financial crisis. Like the worst things that can happen, they do happen. To literally write things down. Like what if all of my utility bills went up, right? That happened a couple of years ago. Everyone's bills went up, and what would I do? That would feel like the worst thing could happen. Or what if I hadn't budgeted properly? Or what if I got kicked off KDP? What if I like had misbudgeted? Like I just had to write down all the things of like I could have misbudgeted and run out of money. So like all the things that could happen, and then you write down like what steps you can take to prevent this, and then you write down uh what will you do if it happens, and then you
Mm-hmm.
look at those things and you're like, okay, actually, I'm fine. Like, I could survive all those things. I can put things in place. I've got sensible things in place. I can also survive if those worst things happen. So that was really useful. And then you go on to look at even if it only slightly works. So even if I quit my job to write and I had to go back to my job in a couple of years' time, like, are there any benefits to that? And it's like, yeah, absolutely. I have given myself time to like have that freedom of my own schedule and to be creative for a long period of time, to learn things about running a business. Like there's so many positives, even
Yeah.
if I don't
Yeah.
reach that like ultimate perfection milestone,
Mm-hmm.
that's fine. Like failure isn't, you know, binary. It's not like you
Mm-hmm.
either are a full-time author or you're a failure.
Yeah.
Which I think I have like a very binary mindset in that regard, and it really takes a
Mm-hmm.
good like thinking about it out. So like, so what's the possible like benefit even if it doesn't go particularly well? Like, what's the downside if you don't do it? And like think about the negatives in 6 months, a year, and I can't remember if it's 3 or 5 years. Um, and I was like, that is very useful. Like thinking about like the lost opportunity costs of like if I was
Mm-hmm.
still doing my same job in a few years. Because I realized recently like the thing that I'm annoyed about my job that's really frustrating me at the moment is just like I've reached a stage where I'm not learning anything. And that's not really the fault of the job, and that's not really the fault of anybody. Like I have to be learning all the time and doing new things.
Yeah.
And that isn't something I can do in a company that is of finite size. It's a relatively small company. Um and so if I stayed another 6 months, probably that side of things would be fine. But like after a year, I would feel really resentful. And like after 3 or 5 years, I would just feel like hopeless. Like that would be a very negative feeling. And so
Yeah.
having to write down all of this of feelings, just like actually that's really useful. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's only internal like pain problems to come from not making a change.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll put the link into that because that was really helpful, and I very much appreciate the suggestion to do that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, so I've still got lots of things that are in play, and I feel like in other challenge week concepts and like other challenge week plans, I really want to like have a week and do a complete thing. And I think for both of us, it's like have a week and kind of set the plans up for doing big things.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's it. Like, challenge week is relatively new. This is our second challenge week. So the first
Mm,
challenge week, we set ourselves something that was like very task oriented, very like we both chose something that was very like you could just do it there and then. It would just meant taking a little bit of time to do something you've been putting off for a while. These the things that we set ourselves this time around is very like future oriented. So like
mm,
it was just crossing the start line, really.
mm,
So we've both taken a step forwards towards it. And I think every challenge week that we do will be like completely different. I don't think we're gonna follow a
mm,
set pattern for any of these things. I think it's always gonna be something really random and we're gonna come at it just like different every single time. And that's
mm.
okay. I like that. I like that creativity.
Yeah, and also really nice just take a week to say this is the only thing I'm focusing on this week.
Hmm.
In terms of like all my thought energy, I want to
Yeah.
make sure I'm putting my attention on something that I know is important, but otherwise I always keep pushing it to the back of my head because it's too big.
Yeah.
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 So it has been really good. And I 100% know what my next steps now. Like there's nothing that I am left with that I feel is sort of like grey and misty.
Hmm.
Everything now feels really clarified, even though I actually this week I haven't done. much, but I've had a lot of conversations and I've done a lot of
You've written
reading
a lot of
and doing.
lists.
Yeah, I've made so many lists. I've started a second book that goes inside my planner that contains just lists. I saw you rolling your eyes, but
Oh,
it's really good.
no,
Uh,
I have got a notebook here that says that I had one of those things that you can print your own labels off, where you spin the thing and you can
oh,
print
yeah.
letters. And I made it. It's a label maker. I don't know why I was so bad at describing that. I'm better at writing descriptions than I am saying them out
Mhm.
loud. But so I had a label maker, and I nominated one of my notebooks as a lists notebook, and that's all I use it for. It's so
Yeah,
good. Everyone should
yeah.
have just something for lists.
It
It's
feels
my
very
favorite thing.
satisfying. I've just got
Mm-hmm.
page and page of lists now, but they are all important lists. And also, this is a moleskin notebook that a friend bought all of us who went on this Greek retreat. And the pages they've got little perforated edges. So when I've like finished the list, I can just remove it.
Oh
I'm
yes.
absolutely loving this. And it's even got,
Mm-hmm.
this is not podcast conversation. It's even got their
No.
little wallets in the back.
Okay.
Yes, I feel like when we get into the details of exactly how one of my mini notebooks works, maybe we've come to the topic. I know at least one other person was doing a challenge week this week, so I'm looking forward to hearing how theirs went in the Discord.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope this inspired people to just take a week. I mean, this has just felt like absolutely revolutionary this week,
Yeah.
for just a few days. And I didn't have any writing this week. I took the whole week off writing, but I did do I did some admin bits, but I just did a lot of stepping back and thinking and processing,
Mm-hmm.
which was phenomenal. So
Yeah.
absolutely recommend a week. We have got another sort of big scale thinking and planning week next week. We are doing a Q2 review. How
Mm-hmm.
ready for that are you?
Let me just check my wall of post-its.
Hmm.
Um, I think I'm pretty ready.
Oh, okay.
I have got a lot of balls in the air at the moment, but I think by next weekend, a lot of those balls will have landed and probably bounced away somewhere. But I will have at least touched a few of them. So I will, yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I've done better this quarter than I did the first quarter of the year. I've moved
Okay.
forwards a lot. How about you?
Okay. Yes, I have already done my Q2, like looking, and I made my Q3 plans, and I don't really know why. I just put it on my to-do list because I was going to have like an admin week. I was like, that's the time when I'll be able to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I have done it. And I've made my next quarter plan. So again, as I am now a superior human being who's got everything in order, I'm really looking forward to the Q2 review.
Oh God, you're so organised. Who are you?
I mean, it only lasts a few weeks, so I really want to enjoy it. It's a bit like my trip to Greece. Like, I'm really gonna, you know, enjoy it while it lasts. But
Yes.
I've done a lot of work on it, and I think part of hopefully making it stick is enjoying it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm really, really working on trying to reward myself, like less stick, more carrot.
Yeah.
So if I complete my little loyalty card this week, I have already chosen the books that I'm getting for myself. I've got two little books already in my Amazon basket, that I
Oh,
get to buy myself when I complete get all my little stickers stamped on my
I
loyalty card.
I don't know why I love hearing about other people buying themselves things, but I love it. I just love like, oh, I'm buying myself a present. Like, oh, can't wait for you to get a
Yeah,
present.
good for you. Yes. Yeah, so it feels really good. And I'm trying to really lean into enjoying it and feeling like organization is the way I can be forever rather than just a little gremlin of chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Which I feel like we haven't described ourselves as chaos gremlins for ages. We are definitely both much
Oh God,
improved.
we're both, yeah, but we still are chaos gremlins. Let's face it. Like
I'm not this week. No.
I'm still just three raccoons in a suit. It's
Well,
crazy.
speaking of suits, those who are at
Yes.
SBS will get to see us in some very exciting suits. Keep an eye out. We will be at SBS Live. This is my fourth year going. I'm going to be there. It's after recording this, it'll be basically a week later, after
Mm-hmm.
the putting this out. So we will be at SBS Live. We are dressed to impress, so keep your eyes out for us. Anyone who's there, we'll be at
Yes.
the Mad Hatter pre-meet on the Tuesday.
Yes.
We're both there on the Wednesday all day, and then there's Wednesday drinks, and then
Yep.
Sam is hanging out with other writer friends after that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I'm going to the Thursday event. We will have some fun things made that will be there with us, so you'll get to see lots of surprises. And yeah, I'm just so looking forward to catching up with everyone, getting inspired. It's definitely. I can't believe I already feel like a superior human being this week. Normally, my like most superior week is just after the SBS conference when I feel like Oh, I could do anything. That's what I started
I
down
don't know.
life.
I don't know how I'm going to feel after SPS. Maybe like a different human being, because this is going to be my
Yeah.
very first one, and I don't know. I always really I really down talk myself about being social. Guys, I am great at being social. I know
Yeah.
I always say like, oh, I'm such an indoor cat. No, I am actually a very social person. I just don't do the social stuff. So I'm really looking forward to meeting everyone and like making connections. I am okay. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah, please
actually
come and say
socially
hi to
awkward.
us.
Yeah,
Yeah. We are
I just say that I'm weird, but I'm actually perfectly normal.
we're hilarious geniuses. You can enjoy our company, come and say
Mhm.
hello. You will recognize us very easily. Not only for having seen these videos, but because we will be, yeah, we're gonna be
Prominent
in,
in
yeah,
your
prominent.
face.
That is a way,
Yeah.
that is a way to put it. Yes. We'll be noticeable. So
Hmm.
please do come say hi. Um, If you want to speak to us before then, hop in the Discord. We are always welcoming to new people and always kind of chatting about things in there. If you want to reward all of our hard work in that Discord, which is tricky work, and preparing for this conference, please do feel free to make a donation in the coffee. You can buy us a drink or even a cake. That would be delightful. We
Hmm.
are meeting up in person this weekend, so it is prime time for coffee and cake. We're meeting up in
Yes.
person, and we've got a big mastermind day planned. I am bringing a huge roll of brown paper as part of it, and we will
I'll bring the
be,
Sharpies.
yeah, we will be making some big plans. So we will speak to you next week, and we will also see some of you at SBS. Thank you very
Yes.
much for joining us, and goodbye.
Goodbye.
You've been listening to Pen to Paycheck Authors.
Stay tuned for our next episode, and don't forget to subscribe to learn how to write your way to financial success.